Well, it's been one of those days again. We've just had so much going on. So we had a bunch of stuff listed on classifieds just to kind of clear stuff out and get rid of some things. I think everybody's using Labor Day as a reason to get out and buy weird stuff on classifieds. So I had like 3 people coming up here to meet me. I didn't film any of it, but anyway, I'm just now getting into the shop. I'm gonna whip up a small batch of black number 54 card holders, but I wanted to use what little bit of the day we have left here to talk about cutting. So let's get it. Okay, so these are just a few options of things that you can use to cut leather with. This would of course be the budget, maybe beginner option. If you don't have any specific leather tools, you can find these anywhere. They're really cheap, but I do like them because they have the interchangeable blades. So it's really easy to make sure you always have a sharp blade in there. This one's called the Tina blade. You guys have heard me talk about this one before. Unfortunately, I just found out these are no longer available. But Rocky Mountain Leather Supply is now partnering with Charter Made. He's a blade maker, and they're coming up with an interchangeable blade for the L indispensable knife. I think that's how you pronounce it. Anyway, I'll put a link down below. It's very similar to this, but it has an interchangeable blade. It's just a really nice, lightweight, smaller blade. Good for little cuts like on wallets and getting real precise. So I'll put a link down below for the good alternative for this blade. All 3 of these were custom made for me by Rick from what used to be called McCall Bag and Blade. Now he's called Ibex Iron Works. They're really nice. I really love them. He's just kind of getting into the leather stuff. You know, there are a couple things that he is going to change and tweak on some of these more leather specific knives. I've kind of been testing out all the different blade shapes and handles, and I really like this for some scenarios. One of the reasons a head knife is good is that you can make cuts without having to drag the blade along, which if you're working with thinner leather, it will buckle the leather. So this, you can just rock it and it'll cut just like that. So that's really handy. Also, you can make if you are gonna drag it, you make the longer cuts with the round part, and then as you're getting down to some more technical cuts, you can use that pointed end. So these are pretty nice. I'm kind of new to the head knife. I know there's a lot of different shapes and sizes. So I don't know, I might try this out a little bit more, see if I can get used to it and really use it in my routine, but I know a lot of guys that love those. This is a Japanese skiving knife. I know a lot of guys that use this style of knife religiously. They'll use it for everything. You can get tight corners, you can get longer cuts. If you're cutting a strap, for instance, you can just make one punch there, because sometimes on a strap or at the end of any cut you're gonna make, it'll the leather will kind of pull away and you won't get a straight line at the end. So with this, you can just kind of stamp it out and get a nice straight cut. So these are really nice. This has been one of my favorite knives to use as of late. I'm really happy with it. The only change I would make is I'd put that bezel on the other side because I'm actually left-handed. So when I'm using it like this, the way it's supposed to be used, I've got the back side of the blade up against the ruler, and that's not how you're supposed to use it. You're supposed to use it with that bezel up against the ruler. And if I do that, then it's backwards for me. So anyway, yeah, I'm just trying out a lot of different stuff. I love changing things up and trying new things. But to be honest, I'm only using knives about 40% of the time. It's certainly not one of my greatest strengths. It's not one of the things that has been a regular part of my process for the type of projects that I do over and over and over every single day. That is all thanks to the Mighty Wonder 4-ton clicker press by Weaver. This thing certainly lives up to its name. The way I use this in our workflow is by getting these custom made dies. I design the shapes on Adobe Illustrator, and then I order them from a die maker. They're called National Die Incorporated. I'll put their information in the description. There are a lot of different types of dies that you can get. These ones are a wood core, and they're quite a bit more affordable than just the flat out steel rule dies. But there are a lot of different ways you can go. These dies are basically just a cookie cutter for leather. With this specific clicker press, they recommend that you order dies at 1.25 inches tall. And these are obviously not 1.25 inches. These are only 3/4 inch. And the reason they don't work as well is because the whole head has to come down a whole lot lower to put enough force on the die to cut through the leather. This is the size that our manufacturer, Russ, likes to use for his clicker press. He has a different one, and this works better for him. So I just started ordering all these. But ever since I got my Mighty Wonder, they didn't work that great for this. So I had to put a block of wood in here to raise up my cutting mat, and now it works great. It's just a little bit frustrating because this doesn't sit nice and still. So any dies that I buy from here on out are gonna be 1 1/4 inches. So it's a really simple process. All you do is lay the leather out on the cutting mat, find a good area of the leather just like you would if you were hand cutting it. Swing that head around. This little adjuster nut adjusts the height of the head and gives you more or less leverage on that bar. So now I'm just gonna crank down on it. Pull the die. And there we go. We got a perfect little ID window for our card holder. So of course they make clicker presses in all shapes and sizes. You can get them as big as VW buses if you want. And you can click out all of the large components for a bag pattern. But ever since we started outsourcing with Waterbury, I didn't really feel like it was necessary to invest in one of those. Since I'm not solely responsible for pumping out the batches of 50 to 100 pieces at a time, I mostly just get to work on small batches of wallets and little one-off projects. So if I'm making a bag here in the shop, I'll hand cut it. I like being able to stay in touch with that aspect of the craft and, you know, really hone in and practice those specific set of skills. But anytime you're in a position where you're producing the same piece over and over and over and over again, it always makes sense to get dies made. All right, so I'm gonna go click out, I don't know, 4 or 5 number 54 card holders in black. They've been out of stock. We've had a few people asking where they are, so we'll get those up soon. All right, cut to that B-roll sequence. Boo! Sometimes you gotta leave the house after you've been in a long time, and our go-to activity is to go get ice cream. Is that bad? Should we swap it out for going for a run? Ice cream's more fun. Indy!
I want vanilla!
You want vanilla? Wesley, what do you want? Okay. I think I want a hand-mixed milkshake. No. Just somebody's hand.
So gross.
That's how I want my milkshake mixed up. All right, what am I gonna get? What am I gonna get? What are you gonna get? What should we get? Should we share? Do you want one of those fruity things I just saw? It's touchscreen. I didn't know that.
Hi, welcome to Sonic. My name is Merrick. How can I help you?
Hi, Merrick. I need to... Yep. So I forgot to read the comments in some of our last vlogs. Sorry about it. But we're gonna do it right now. Let's read some comments. The last vlog had nothing really to do with leathercraft. It was just a typical Saturday for our family. I never expect a ton of engagement with those, but we got some good comments, so let's see here. Always good to see a comment from Paul J. He said, Parker, looks like you all had a great time, although the escape rooms would just make me really angry, LOL. Yeah, me too. Barbara Haberman, I already replied to this one. Poor Whitney, trying to supervise 3 little kids. It's so true. Wait, did you hear that one? Ah, she can't hear me. It's true, I'm a little kid at heart. Julia Morris, you guys are seriously the best. So great to see you again, Parker. That's Julia. She's the one who invited us to that event. It was really cool. She's been a friend since I was in like 4th grade. She's just a really cool person. And thanks for the invite, Julia. Wallace Vivian, cool day with your family, lots of fun. Gosh, you guys are the best. Thank you so much for those comments. Thanks for being here with us. By the way, have I mentioned we're not technically doing daily vlogs? Did you want to say something, Indy?
Hi, guys.
So technically we're not going to be doing daily vlogs. If we were doing daily, it would be actually 7 videos a week. I'm gonna be taking Saturday and Sunday off with the potential of filming a video on Saturday or just the weekend. It might be like a weekend vlog. But my goal is to have a video to post every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. So I'm not sure how we're gonna word it in the channel, but you know, new video Monday through Friday. I'm really excited about it. I told you the 20,000 subscriber mark was gonna be where we commit to doing daily vlog. Can I still call it daily? It's pretty much daily, minus a couple days. Okay, I won't call it daily. But life's good. It's time for bed. And yeah, hope you guys had a good one. And we'll see you on the next one. Bye.
Bye, guys.
Don't do it with your toothbrush, do it with your hand. Say,
Bye, guys.
Say bye.
Bye, boop.
Good one. You too, bud.